Good evening and welcome to the Kim B. Davis Show. I'm your host, Kim B. Davis, and this evening we have one of our favorite guests on. We have Mr. Eric Harp, our certified professional fitness trainer and educator. And of course, we're going to talk current events and holidays and fitness. Good evening, Mr. Harp. How are you?
Oh, well, Mrs. Davis, I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am great. All right,
And
so let's get to it. So we just got over midterms.
Ooh.
Man, go ahead, start us off.
Can I just say thank you to everybody who voted?
Yes,
Everybody
please.
who mail-in votes, those who took the time out of their day to get up and go to the polls. Good job, way to exercise this right to do it. And we made some big things, big changes.
Yes, we did.
As we speak, the Democrats have retained the House. Oh, excuse me, they retained the Senate.
Yes.
There's still a fight for the House of Representatives. As we stand, almost every Trump-backed candidate lost.
Yes.
Almost everyone lost big. Today, which is the 15th, just throw that date out there. We're on November 15th today. Carrie Lake just lost the governor race to Katie Hobbs in Arizona. So bye.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord switch.
So where we are right now is we're still waiting for the results. It's going to be a runoff between Senator Pastor Raphael Warnock and football hopeful Herschel Walker. It's going to be a runoff. But we're going to see, the momentum has shifted. The momentum has definitely shifted. Even as we speak, Fox News has already said that they are not going to back Donald Trump for any re-election bid. Today, he's supposed to make an announcement that he was going to run. So we'll see what happens. That's all I have for you. That's woo.
It was a lot. So in Michigan, we were excited because women are at the top of the political food chain. So our governor is Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Our attorney general is Dana Nessel. And our Secretary of State is Jocelyn Benson. And so when you look at the top of the ticket and you're like, wow, there are women leading. So this takes me back into our next topic really quickly. So politically, we heard about women coming out in droves. We heard about young people, especially this young generation, came out in great numbers for the Democrats. And I don't know if you saw it, Mr. Harp, but I saw Fox News was saying, well, wait, why are they voting for the Democrats? We got to get them back on our side. What's happened? And they're indoctrinating people on college campuses and, all these different things. And we see, of course, what's happening with Twitter and Elon Musk, which is a whole nother conversation. And that's interesting in of itself. But you see young people coming out for Democrats. You saw women coming out for Democrats. And one of the reasons that we saw that, I believe, is reproductive freedom. When the Supreme Court reversed Roe versus Wade, it set a lot of people to thinking, "Ooh,
what?
Right.
They go next."
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It wasn't just, and for everyone who says this was about reproductive freedom, yes, it was. However, there were also conversations that, okay, if they're coming for this, what are they coming for next?
Right. See, what this is about rights. Rights. What are your rights? What are your rights? What are not your rights? What are God-given rights? So we as African Americans, of course, we have a little bit more skin in the game in this one because we've been denied rights. So taking away rights is like, where are we going with this? So in Michigan, yes, we do have these top 3 ladies and more in positions at the top, running the state of Michigan. But the women came out and made sure that the right to choose for an abortion or not is in the Constitution. So it can't be taken away. So now the Supreme Court can't come in and just say, you got to wipe this off your books. It's codified in the state. So now what they're trying to do with the popularity of the elections and the on the ballot, abortion being on the ballot, the Supreme Court has really made a mistake. And now the government has a chance, or the Congress has a chance, to codify the law to make it a free choice. So now, that's what we're going to see. And that's what now with the Senate being retained by the Democrats, and the House is up for a grab still. It's still possible. It's still possible that that it will be reversed once again, and the law of the land will be that women have a choice. What was really on the ballot was, are you really going to let people stuff this down your throat? As we say, what's next? We've been indoctrinated with the right to choose, the right to speak freely, with the right to this. But now you're telling us we can't have rights. They start talking about marriage equality. They start talking about education. Wow, we just went through the Brown versus Board of Education 70 years ago. And that was an uphill battle.
It was.
And so now we want to talk about taking rights away from children, more notably inner city children. And it's just a slippery slope. But the voters stepped in. Made their known, and especially in the state of Michigan, the voices have been heard, and we'll proceed from here. We'll just have to see what the country does.
Absolutely. And so that brings us to our next question. So DeSantis won Florida handily. Miami-Dade, which is 75 to 80% Latino, carried it. I was like, wow. So this poses the question, because I'm waiting for the announcement too from Trump to say that he's running again, because I saw something on social media today where him and Melania were sitting amongst some gold chairs, and they were like the man, the president, something. But basically, it's sort of a takeoff of what they do for James Bond and other characters like that. This is the man that you want to be. And all the women, want him. Everybody wants to be him. You want to be in a room where he is. This is the person that's going to run for president. I find it interesting that Rupert Murdoch said, nope, sorry. Yep, we've had conversations. It's not going to happen. We're not backing you. The fact that almost every candidate outside of J.D. Vance in Ohio lost, said something.
And J.D. Vance won by the slimmest of margins.
Yes, he did.
Well, he did. Okay, so he got one in a swing state like Ohio, or we'll have to see. Okay, but Fetterman got Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Fetterman went through all of the health.
Fetterman had a stroke. Let's put it on the table. He had a stroke. He had interpreters helping him. Come on now. And you got Dr. Oz, who is a global
guy. Yeah.
Right. He's a TV guy. Everybody knows him around the world. But, I go back to something that a lot of people are saying. These are bad candidates. And a lot of them are bad candidates. We look at Herschel Walker and we're like, what?
Well, Herschel can't speak.
He can't speak.
Herschel, Herschel got in his mind, the sentences are flowing freely. But coming out but coming out of his mouth, they just chopped up in like kung fu. I don't know.
Right.
You know, I'm doing my best to understand him, and I probably got a leg up on most, you know. But you have Dr. Oz, who went ahead and jumped in the attacking lane. He jumped out there and started kicking a man for having a stroke, a doctor, a do no harm, sacred oath doctor starts kicking a guy when he's down from having a stroke. Talking about a stroke victim is not worthy, to run this. He's not physically able. And I'm like, how you gonna turn your neck around to the other stroke victims and say, oh, you'll leave a healthy, productive life?
Right.
You should return back to normal if everything goes right within 6 to 8 months. Like, how you gonna do that? And then turn around and tell this other stroke victim, you are gonna be an invalid for the rest of your Nah, that's kind of rough. And people had to look at him like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Right. Just terrible. But, you look at it and we say, but Trump was a bad candidate. But there are diehard people that are still toting the line, that are still pitching, the things that he says and still calling it fact. We're having issues with schools. It's funny you talked about how people came out to the polls and said, oh, no, you're not going to push this down my throat. But you have schools who are saying, oh, I don't want my kids to learn about that in school. Oh, I don't want my kids to read about that. These are banned books, classic books like To Kill a Mockingbird, that now we're saying, oh, no.
Why are we still attacking Toni Morrison?
Exactly. But
why are we still going after Toni Morrison?
But we have people who, The Bluest Eye, which is Toni Morrison. I just lost it. It's coming. It is so many books. But Stephen King, one of my favorite authors, said, don't argue with people. When they tell you not to read a book, he said, go get the book, read it for yourself, make your own decision. And I just find it ironic because here in Michigan, we have a school district that is fighting against a particular book because they said, oh, it's too much information. These are middle school kids. You don't want them hearing about this type of physical relationship. And I get it as a parent, when do you want it? But then it becomes, okay, is this because it's homosexual in nature? Is this because it's interracial, or is outside of what the cultural norms are? Is that what the issue is? These are questions that we have to ask. And unfortunately, sometimes people take advantage and run with it and say, well, this is a Christian nation, and we, for the last 100 years, this is what we've been doing. And I'm like, yeah, because you never told somebody's story. I'm not advocating for or against that. That is up to the parents of the district. However, these are questions and conversations that people have to understand if you are excluding someone unfairly. And oftentimes when we have conversations like that in America, especially politically, especially when you have bad candidates, it's usually because we want to exclude someone. Share your thoughts, Mr. Harp.
Well, we definitely want to exclude. It's always an attempt to exclude people. This time, mail-in ballots. Oh, all the mail-in ballots.
Yes.
That's the old folks. That's the people who can't let them do it. Or what about those Republican mail-in votes? Well, because if you're gonna cut mail-in votes, you're gonna cut, those too. No, so I don't think it's well thought out. And whether it's well thought out, it wasn't executed properly. For many years, you and I were subject to Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, what, 200 years old? And some of the Charles Dickens books were like, really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it touched on the macabre.
Mm-hmm.
It touched on the strange. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us didn't understand how two boys could be so close.
Right.
Oh, then you have best friends. Well, two boys can be so close. But now we live into in the 21st century, and that
Mm-hmm.
100 years closeness could turn into a little
Mm-hmm.
duality today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it's in the eye of the beholder, of course, but what we have are decision makers who are feeling their power,
Mm-hmm.
their ego, their
Mm-hmm.
power, not working together as a consortium of 9, not working together as our Supreme Court. Let me just jump on
Mm-hmm.
another. Our
Mm-hmm.
Supreme Court is a body of 9 and can't come together.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
A body of 9. Yet here we go. We got 4 people over here that say, well, we don't like this. So other people will. I'm just not going to vote. So we'll just leave it to the rest of you. And now
Mm-hmm.
it's a 4-3 decision instead of a 5-4. Or
Mm-hmm.
this is what we have tiebreakers for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is why you have 50-50 in the Senate, where the vice president is the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I see all these maneuvers to get 55 people in the Senate because it's easier to get to that 60 vote threshold. And we can't do anything with the 60 votes. We can block everything and we can get everything passed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now it's all about power, and
Mm-hmm.
power hungry people. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not too much different. This is no surprise. But as we get into the technology, we get into the people screaming foul every time there's an election. We get into Mike the Pillow Guy, who for 2 years has been screaming, I've got this evidence, but it's never brought it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, as long as we got this people and this permeates the air, we're always going to be fighting for our democracy. When
Yes,
Joe
we are.
Biden, democracy is on the ballot. Democracy is going to be on the ballot from here on out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
it's a shame, but at the same time, we better get in these civics classes, because that's a class I don't think I've heard. That's
I
what they
haven't.
out. Civics class.
Mm-hmm.
What about them government classes?
We
And
had social studies, government, American government, world history. You had to know. And then even when you got to college, you took an introductory American government, American history class. A lot of times they were separate. And for those of us that went on into political science further, myself speaking of, you got a lot of those classes, which broke it down. And so when you see things, you're like, well, that's history from whenever, and this is what they did, because of course nobody does anything new. All we're doing is repeating cycles, but it is interesting to watch people.
Got to get your voice heard, and it's not
Yes,
just Twitter. It's not just Twitter thumbs.
that's right.
Get
And so that's a great segue. So we got to get our voices heard. So many of us are going to see our families in another week or so. We're going to spend holiday time with our families. And I came across this exciting study that said that most people who participate in the family dinners usually gain 1 to 2 pounds between Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And so people were talking about how much weight folks actually gain over the decades. And I started thinking, Mr. Harp, what is the best way we can to keep our weight off during the holidays?
Well, I mean, that's a great question, and I love the way you posed it. That's why I had to giggle a little bit. 10 years.
Yes.
Just to quell some of the mystery, we fluctuate in weight daily. Mm-hmm. We go up and down. Many of us can stay in a range. We may gain 3 here, lose 5. Woo, I lost 2 pounds. Then jump back up and get depressed that we just gained 5. Or, many of the times our body fluctuates. Moon cycles, sun cycles, we hold water You know, our body is meant to protect us in many ways. But holiday season is a big time to watch out for gluttony.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, it's a big word, gluttony.
It is. It is.
Um, the holiday season is meant for cooking, meals. A lot of us gonna stack stuff, I'm just gonna get a plate. You know, and we might go 5, 6, 7 different places and just grab a plate. Some of us will have big family dinners and we'll feed people and eat in installments. You know, and we have 30 days of from Thanksgiving until Christmas, and there will be a lot of food in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
If we are in the habit of moving around, you know, as we talk in many of our segments, you know, if we're moving around, our body will be able to definitely handle a little uptick in eating and enjoy this little uptick in eating. You know, it's a time for pleasure, but the gluttony, the eating just to eat, a lot of people get depressed.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time of year during the holidays where depression is rampant.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be family issues, money issues. There's many reasons that people get down in the dumps, depressed during the holiday season. And food is a great alternative to turn to.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us have to be careful that we moderate. You know, we want to eat, definitely have to eat. We have to eat for our daily and our health and the body's just function. But overeating is a problem. We eat, then we lay down and we go to sleep, and we don't feel good. But when we wake up, it's time to eat again.
Yeah.
You know? And since I have it, I must finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on my plate, so I gotta finish it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us have a lot of attitudes towards food. Okay, some positive, some extra positive. But as far as maintaining our workouts, maintaining moving, if we can't get outside because of the weather, it's all right. Try to find a gym. Try to find somewhere you can walk around. Many gyms have tracks where you can just walk around the track. Many gyms have the ellipticals and the treadmills that you can just get on and walk for 15, 20 minutes and just walk.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to boost it up a little bit, carefully, jog, run. There's other equipment. And when the mood hits, try some. There's personal trainers. When the mood hits, talk to one. Reach out. This is that time of year because in just a moment, it's going to be the new year. And we want a new year. We want to make these resolutions. We want to get, if we're following the patterns of Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, we're looking at making New Year's resolutions. And many of our resolutions are getting in shape, losing weight. Now, it doesn't have to be the ultimate goal, but it will be a byproduct if we just start to move around, if we just started to get more active. You will find your body losing weight, slimming down, okay? If we start to eat correctly, if we start to eat some of the better foods, make some better choices at the times that we eat and the amounts that we eat, a byproduct of that is that we're gonna lose weight and your body is gonna slim down, okay? Well, we wanna work from the inside so we can get to those muscles. We wanna start working those things, okay? Once again, this is the biggest muscle, the hardest muscle to train. Okay, is to make decisions and to stay with those decisions and stick with it. No, it gets hard. In this holiday time, one of the best ways to combat depression, exercise. One of the ways to combat overeating, exercise. So once we start to exercise, again, a byproduct is going to be losing weight. I make no guarantee that anybody's going to lose 15 pounds in a week. It's not going to happen, but you have to stick with it. And the more you stick with it, then those 15 pounds become, okay, I've done that. Now what else can I do? What else can I do? Well, just 2 weeks ago, I wasn't able to do this. Just 3 months ago, I wasn't able to lift that. Just 4 months ago, I wasn't able to run. Now I can run.
Mm-hmm.
Ride a bike. And these accomplishments, these small little milestones start to rack up pounds lost. Try it. For everybody listening, try it. You'll be amazed. Enjoy the food, enjoy the holidays, the family, the friends, the guests, enjoy it. Eat well. But remember, stick to it. And when the new year comes, let's get on a plan and let's stick with it. So by the next holiday, oh, you'll be ready to go again.
Yes. Okay, so Mr. Harp, I'm gonna ask you another quick question. Is there any exercise that we can do that will burn the most calories?
Well, that would depend on where you are. Small spaces, jumping jacks.
Okay.
Jumping jacks. It's this little small exercise where you swing your arms, you swinging your legs a little bit, but you're gonna get your heart rate going. You don't have to go very far. It's not too hard on the legs and the knees. Stay on your toes. Jumping jacks.
Okay.
Okay. Also work those shoulders. It'll keep a nice stretch as you reach above your head. These arm movements will keep you limber. It's a great exercise.
Okay. Is there any exercise, because I heard you talk about joints, for those of us who during pandemic have been sitting a lot or who have struggle with joint problems, what is the best exercise to do to start off? Walking. Okay, talk to us about that.
Walking. One, we want to make sure that we can still walk, stay walking, as long as we can walk.
Mm-hmm.
Walking is something you can do at your own pace. Okay. Walking is something that take a brisk walk when it's time. Speed up the pace. When you pick up the pace, and you'll notice, wow, you're swinging your arms, and now you're breathing, and all of a sudden wow. But it's not hard on your joints. It's not hard on your joints. I mean, if you have sore knees, walk it out. If you have plantar fasciitis, which is a common foot problem, heel cups if necessary. Put some soft gels in your shoes. Okay. There are different things that you can do to put inside your shoes to make your foot more comfortable. But you have to walk anyway. Might as well use it as an exercise. If you have pets, walk your pets. Small children, walk those strollers. It's great exercise. Put your headphones on, slide your hoodie up. Let's go. It's a great exercise.
Excellent, Mr. Harp. So just remind us again what you said earlier were about putting one foot in front of the other and just taking it very easy.
It's not rocket science. Okay. The hardest thing is to start. Once you start, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And that's it. It's that simple. The hardest part is up here. Our muscles might get a little sore. We'll get over that. But you got to keep going. Because once you stop, oh, why did I stop? I remember when I used to be able to do this. Oh, why did I? So if you can, do it. Do it now.
Thank you, Mr. Harp. That's excellent advice. Now tell us how we can find you. Tell us how we can reach out to you on social media and personally.
Well, you can find me under Eric Harp. My name is Eric Harp, and my email is ericharp9@gmail.com. I'm on your social platforms. Look me up. I'm here.
Thank you, Mr. Harp, for joining us and talking about the holidays and fitness. I know next month we'll have another exciting topic, and we can't wait to see you and talk to you again. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Davis, and I'll be looking forward to it.
Thank
Happy
you.
holiday.
Happy holidays to you as well. Thank you guys for tuning into the Kim B. Davis Show. You know, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, everywhere on social media. And it's Kimberly Batchelor Davis. Bachelor is spelled Batchelor. You can see this show at youtube.com/Kimberly Batchelor Davis. You can hear this show on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, and Wisdom. And you can learn more about me as an author at kimbdavis.com. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope you'll join us on our next episode. And as always, remember, be magnificent.